Hello. Hi to those who are joining us today on Zoom. We are going to prepare for our presentation today on stress and anxiety management. If you will just hold for 1 second, we're going to prepare some things in the room and then we'll get ready for our presentation. All right. Hello, everyone. So welcome to our presentation today. We are presenting on anxiety and stress management, and we are going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who are in the room, you've taken an assessment on anxiety and stress management, and we know that this is something that is common. We know that it is something that all of us face at some point in our lives. And we're going to take a little bit of time today to talk about what that looks like. And what are some ways that we can overcome anxiety and stress management? Okay, so anxiety and stress management. Anybody want to take a stab and just tell me what is anxiety or what is stress or what is the difference between the two? Anybody? Anxiety is overthinking. Okay. What about stress? What is stress? An overwhelming thought. Okay. Yes. Can you have good stress? Or is all stress bad? No answer's wrong. Just want to know what your thoughts are. Anybody think all stress is bad? No, there can be good stress. Okay. Well, we are going to dabble a little bit more into it today and learn a little bit more about what that is. So here's a little quote. If life gives you lemons, make some kind of fruity juice with it. So we always hear the quote, if life gives you lemon, make lemonade. If you don't like lemonade, that's okay. Make a smoothie or some other juice. But we know that life is going to throw things at us unexpectedly. And that's okay because it's unavoidable, right? We cannot avoid getting into situations that are uncomfortable, doing things that don't make us feel good, but what we can handle is how we respond to those things. So that's what we're going to talk about. You can't avoid stress. It's a natural response to circumstances that happen in our lives. But what you can have control over is how you respond to those stressors. And so we're going to talk today about what that looks like. Okay, let me move this over. Okay, so the presentation points today. What is stress? Physical effects of stress, academic effects under stress, what causes stress, and how can you relieve it? So first things first, the definition of stress. So stress is a feeling of mental or emotional strain or tension due to demanding circumstances. So this could be physical stress. You can even see stress when you're exercising, right? So I'm exercising, I am putting stress on my muscles. And so that's going to make my muscles strong. So in that sense, it's good stress, but it is a feeling of mental or emotional strain or tension due to a demanding circumstance. So whatever that circumstance is, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, something is coming as something else. So stress is a cause and effect, right? Stress, think of cause and effect. Something is happening to make me respond in a particular way. Type of stress. Did anyone ever know what eustress is? Have you ever heard of that before today? So there is a such thing. So you have eustress and distress. I'm sure you've heard of the latter. So eustress is a good stress that results in happiness, excitement, and accomplishment. It results in happiness, excitement, and accomplishment. So as we're looking at this definition, can you think of anything that you have experienced that has given you excitement or happiness or accomplishment, but could be seen as a stressor? What was that? Going to college. Okay, that's a good one. Absolutely. Anything else? Yes, 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 yes. I can see where you're going. So procrastination is bad. We know we shouldn't procrastinate, but when you're procrastinating and when you begin to work on your assignment and you're getting through with it, it's starting to release positive endorphins in your brain because you're like, okay, I'm getting there. I'm almost done. I can actually do this. So that can become eustress, and it's an excitement because you're feeling like, oh, I'm accomplishing a goal. So absolutely, that's a form of it. Another good example that I think of, especially now because I have a friend that had a baby, but thinking about having a baby, that's stressful, right? Like that's a lot of stress on your body. It's a stressful and a very intense situation, but immediately you feel a sense of accomplishment and excitement and happiness because you got this beautiful little baby that's wooing and gone in your face after they've cried a little bit. But that's another example. So what about distress? Negative stress that results in anxiety, panic, and depression. Any examples that we can think of? I'm sure that there are, but anybody want to give an example? What was that? Failing a test, absolutely. Failing a test. Immediately you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just did that. It's going to affect my GPA. What is my interim grade going to look like, which is your midterm? Maybe you're trying to get on the dean's list, or maybe you're trying to get $100 from your parent that said that if you make a certain grade, they give you money, right? You never know. But yes, perfect example of a distress. You failed a test, you didn't do as well as you maybe had hoped that you were going to do, and immediately you have anxiety, and sometimes that can lead to depression depending on the severity of the situation. So these are the two types of stress that we're going to look at today. So what does stress do to you? This is what it does. Physical effects of stress, frequent headaches. Sometimes that can result in migraines, right? I don't know if you've ever dealt with a migraine, but it's like that throbbing pain that won't go away. Trouble sleeping. You could have insomnia. We're not just talking about insomnia cookies because they stay up all night. You can get them at 3 a.m. in the morning. But insomnia, you're tossing and you're turning and you can't get comfortable. Chest pain. Sometimes you can have a hard time breathing and your blood pressure can go sky high. These are some of the physical effects that stress can have on your body. So make sure that you are paying very close attention to your body, because if you're experiencing something that's abnormal, that's not common for you, you want to make sure that you're getting a check on it, because maybe there's a reason, right? There's a cause. Anytime there's pain, there's a reason for that pain. It's alerting your body that something's not right, or maybe you need to look into something. So the same thing is with these stressor effects. Frequent headaches, trouble sleeping, or chest pains. You want to make sure that you start to evaluate what is it that's causing these things. For me, I'll give a personal story here. I began having trouble sleeping several years ago. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? I would jump up out of bed immediately when someone called my name, very on the edge. I didn't have headaches or chest pains, but then my heart started to kind of flutter every now and again. And I had began having panic attacks. And so it was very frightening, of course. But it was me paying attention to my body. I knew that I hadn't had trouble sleeping before. My heart never fluttered before, so something's wrong. So I was alerted by a stressor effect of my body. I went to the doctor, got checked out, learned that I was actually having a panic attack, and I personally did get medicated for that. That is not always the case. It may not take that result. Maybe there are, and we're going to talk about some other ways that you can cope with stress. There are some other ways that you can cope with stress. But for me, that was something that I took. But it took me being alerted by my body and making sure that I was conscious enough to know something's not right. So some additional physical effects of stress: heartburn. It could be heartburn. Maybe you're not just eating burgers and fries and Wingstop and all the things late at night. And then impulsive behavior. So are you just spending all your money? Are you gambling on the coast? You may not be able to get into the casino. I don't know how old you are, but gambling on the coast. And then substance abuse. So these are just some of the effects of stress. Now, much of this you probably have experienced or will experience is academic related effects of stress. So that could be learning, difficulty learning new information. How are you processing the information in your psychology class, in your biology class, in your sociology class? Are you able to understand the concepts that your teacher's teaching? Are you able to remember what you had last class and then continue to build on that? Are you like, I don't know what the heck we went over last week. Like, I don't get it, professor, I'm not getting it. So what is your learning looking like? And then your productivity. Are you getting the things done that you need to get done on a daily basis? So you wake up in the morning, you create this long to-do list, and then you go to bed at night and you look at me like, dang, all I did today was eat and just see my friends. Like I didn't do anything else. So how productive are you? And then irritability. Are you finding that you're more on edge than usual? Or you like really snappy more than you typically would be? Are you frustrated a little bit more? Maybe you could be a little stressed. And sometimes it takes a trusted friend and confidant to say, Alicia, are you okay? I don't know if we have Alicia in the room. Alicia, are you okay? Because you kind of been on the edge lately, and that's just not really who you are. So making sure that you are open to those that you're close with. If you see that somebody is maybe feeling a little bit stressed, or you see that they're having some of the effects of stress, be that friend and confidant to maybe talk to them in a private setting, just to make sure that they're okay. Because sometimes we want help, but we don't want to say it. And so, having that ability to go to someone who, trusts you is really helpful for them. Because a lot of times when we're in these situations, it's hard to say, I am struggling. But if you can be there for that person to say, hey, if you're struggling, feel free to talk to me and I'll be glad to help you out. So make sure that you're looking into some of these things. So these are some of the things that you could experience if you're under academic stress. Forgetfulness. You can also be under forgetfulness, like disorganization and confusion. You don't remember what you did from A to Z. You go down to put your laundry in the laundry mat, and then you forget that your clothes are down there. Concentrating, you cannot focus on your assignments for anything. Even when you're in class, you're sitting there and you find yourself in la-la land. That could be because you're thinking about all the other 50 million things on your to-do list to do, and you're just not being efficient or productive in anything that you're doing. That can affect your academics. It can just it spirals. It's like a domino effect. It's like, well, I can't remember. And then when I do go to class, I'm not focused. And then when I'm not focused, I didn't understand. So then when it's time to study, and it just spirals, right? So these are all the effects of stress. Okay, so now that we know what the effects look like, we know what stress, we know good stress, bad stress, let's see what causes it. So conflicting priorities and time management. I do have planners here today for those of you who at the end of the presentation feel as though, you know what, maybe it's my time management, that's all. I got some planners for you. I thought a little bit ahead. So maybe we can talk about how to plan out your time, and that will help alleviate some stress. So conflicting priorities. Maybe you just got a lot going on. Okay, you got classes, maybe you're working a job, maybe you are pledging a sorority, maybe you are the president of your organization, and then you just made homecoming court. You just got a lot going on. Then you got family stuff going on back home. You got mama and papa and dada, and you got brothers and sisters who you're trying to see about. You're maybe the first in your family to go to college, and maybe you feel like you're trying to, be the face of the family. Who knows? There are all these reasons to be stressed out. You got a lot going on. Let's prioritize your time. Let's take a little bit of time. I know you want to talk to your mama every day. Take 10, 15, 20 minutes, talk to your mom. Let's take some time. If you feel like exercising is good, which we'll talk about exercising being a good stress relief, take some time to go to the pain center. This is the time that you're in classes, and this is the time that you're going to study. And then we'll divvy out some time to hang out with your friends, but don't overload yourself, right? You're not a machine. You're not made of steel. You are a human being, right? And you need rest. We need food, we need rest, we need all those things to give us energy. You are not going to make it day to day if you're just piling all these things on your plate. Don't be overcommitted. You're going to have to say yes to some things, but you're probably going to have to learn to say no to some things too, because take yourself first. You are important. The things that you have to do are important, and you want to make sure that you get those things done first. Okay, unrealistic expectations. Don't be setting those goals way too high. I did this last week, and it was a wake-up call. I am planning this week right now. I'm going to do a pitch at the end. This week right now is Parent and Family Appreciation Week. So we're planning things for parents, and then I'm planning a parent and family weekend in November. I want all y'all's parents to come back. And I just had this long list of things I said I was going to do today. I'm going to send all these emails. I'm going to plan for this presentation. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then at 4 o'clock, I was like, I maybe got 6 of the 18 things I said I was going to get done. So unrealistic expectations. If you, God forbid, if you made a 2.5 last semester, and this semester you come in and you say, I want to make a 4.0 this semester. Okay, maybe. I'm not saying it's impossible, but let's look at the things that you have going on. It is going to take some time to build up a GPA. I'm not saying that you're not going to be able to do it at some point, but don't put that stress on you unnecessarily to try to get a 4.0 this semester and you made a 2.5 last semester. Why not a 3.0? Why not a 3.2? Why not a 3.5? But a 4.0, baby, don't hurt yourself. You know what I mean? So don't have unrealistic expectations on yourself. Transitions and change. Did you get married? Did you lose a job? Maybe you got a new job this semester working in a new office. Maybe you got a job working off campus this year. Maybe you bought a car, right? And we know that's an expense, so you've got to pay bills. Transitions can also cause stress. And then, of course, the given trauma, losing a close family member or friend. Hello, the elephant in the room, COVID-19 pandemic, that's trauma, illness, injury, or any type of threat to your safety. All of those types of things can cause you stress. So take a moment to think about yourself. Think about your life. Today's what, September 28th or 9th? Think about where you are now. What are some of the stressors that you have on your life? What class did you go to this morning? What class do you have to go to after this presentation? When's your next exam? When's your next project? I don't know what classification you are, but when are you graduating? Are you going to be graduating anytime soon? Do you know what college you're going to go to after this? Are you trying to go to graduate school? Or are you going into the world of work, as my high school principal said, going to the world of work? So those are some of the things that you can think about that may cause you stress. Okay, so now let's talk about ways to relieve it. So now we know what stress is, we know the effects of stress on our physical body, on our academics. How can I relieve this big thing that hurts me so badly? Mindful meditation. So maybe you're into yoga, or maybe you do some type of spirituality or religion. Those types of things can help you give that woosah moment. And exercise, running, walking, rock climbing, maybe kickboxing. I know they have the rock climbing wall in the Pain Center. Has anybody done that? Yes, okay. Any type of active moving. You can go to the Pain Center. We have the, just longleaf trace. Longleaf trace, anybody did longleaf trace? It's really nice. So these are just some examples. Some additional examples are healthy habits. Eating clean, getting an adequate amount of sleep, eating a well-balanced diet, and then of course, friendships and counseling and talking to friends. So let's talk a moment about how we relieve stress. Can anybody in the room tell me what are some things that you do to relieve stress? What are some of your stress relievers? Going to dance class is fun. Yes, I was talking to some of my student workers the other day about Zumba. I have one of my student workers, she's gonna actually be teaching a dance class. She's in the African, I don't know the name of African culture organization on campus, something like that. And they're gonna be teaching like West African dance in the Pain Center coming up. I think maybe next week. And I said, I wanna go to that. And she's probably like, Ashley, please don't come. But yes, dance is a perfect way to relieve stress. Anybody else? Any other ways? Listening to music, absolutely. It is so calming. Yes. I love going to Tim's Elementary. They have a track outside. And so I walk the track and I listen to my music. I live in an apartment here in Hattiesburg, so I don't have like a front yard, backyard. So I'm not outside a whole lot besides like commuting in and out the house. So I love to go to the track because it gives me my outside time, and I can listen to music and see nature and just walk, and it's beautiful, especially now that the temperature's kind of going down on it. We've hit fall officially. But yes, dancing and listening to music is excellent. Anybody else? Yes, not having a set agenda. Like you probably live on a set agenda all day. You gotta be in class at this time. You have to be at this presentation at 12. You gotta be here at this time. Like, I just want time to I don't have to be there. Like I can if I want to, but I don't, just having time to not be on a strict agenda. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you said pets. Pets are perfect. We have a staff member, actually, it's pretty cool. She used to work in residence life. She now works in our office, and she wrote a proposal to allow, I think, service pets or like emotional, that's it, emotional support pets in the residence hall, and it got approved. And so I thought that was really, a really amazing thing. So yes, absolutely. I don't know about that. I'll have to check on that. That's a good question. They have a full aquarium? Oh. Yes, because it gives you something to look forward to, right? Like, I know 1, 2, 3, at least 3 of the people in my office have pets, and they always talk about their pets. It's like when you get home at the end of the day, or whenever you get home, they're looking forward to you. Like if you have a dog, the dog is wagging the tail, the cat is purring or like brushing up against your leg. And that's somebody who loves you unconditionally, right? No matter what, your pet is looking forward to like hanging out with you, spending time, getting hugs and cuddles. And even if it's a fish, I had a student worker that also had a fish. And she's now at William Carey, unfortunately. I need her to come back here. But she's at William Carey, but she had a fish, and she would tell me about her fish. She was like, yeah, my fish did this, and I went in and changed the water, and I gave him this. And it just makes you happy. Once again, doing things that you love, they release positive endorphins in your brain, and it releases excitement. So those are some things that helps relieve the stress. So dancing, listening to music, having a pet, going for a walk, not having a set agenda, all of those things are good for connection. And creativity, music, we talk about music, journaling, drawing, and sketching. I can't draw to save my life, but I do love planning parties, you know, so anything that you feel that you enjoy doing, do some of those things to help alleviate stress. Okay, so organization, as I was talking about earlier with planners, sometimes our stress comes from just needing to get organized, just needing to plan things out. And this comes from procrastination, not having a plan, not preparing well enough in advance. It makes us stress because we're like, oh my gosh, just last minute, I got to figure this out. But had I only prepared, I mean, it's not, most of the time, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that you haven't prepared to do it. Like, you know how to write that paper. You know how to do that assignment most times. Sometimes you do need a little extra help, and that's why you have professors. That's why you have tutors. That's why you have office hours. That's why you have resources online. Certainly use those things, but sometimes you know how to do them. It's just that you've not given yourself enough time to do so. So that's where time management and planning comes in. So find out where your time is going. So that's why I was like, think about giving you a master schedule. I don't know if you've ever created a master schedule, but it's amazing. Get your schedule Sunday through Saturday. Put in every single time block of when you're in class, every single time block that you have a job and you're working. Maybe you have sorority meetings or ASL meetings or SGA meetings, put those things in there. And then you look at all the gaps and you're like, oh, I forgot I don't really have anything to do around Thursdays from 11 to 1. And during that time frame, that's when you can say, okay, I'm going to use that time to study. I'm going to use 30 minutes of that to go on a walk, or an hour of that to go to the pain center. So making time to think about where your time is going. And then planners, you can use electronic or paper. I say all the time. I use it as an example in my office. I don't know if you know Ariana McGee. She works in our office. She uses a paper planner faithfully, and I do not. I used to use that in high school, but when I started working on campus, I'm at my computer all the time. So now I use Outlook as my planner. And then it gives me like the reminders 15 minutes prior to an event. It's like, don't forget, you got such and such. So I'm an electronic girl, but both of us are effective. So it doesn't matter if you want to use paper, if you want to use electronics, use whatever works for you. So find a way to put in all of your deadlines, your exams, your meetings, your events. It just helps you stay on top of it. I'm like a lover of event planning. So if you don't really like it, but you need help doing it, come see me in the Center for Student Success and I'll help you, because that stuff releases positive endorphins for me. And then cleaning up. I don't know about y'all, but me, I cannot focus in clutter. Like, I just cannot. Like, if my apartment, if my office is in disarray, I cannot function. Like, I went home yesterday, and you know how you like lay on the sofa and then you have the blanket and like your pillows just kind of flutter a little bit. I mean, that's not dirty, but like, I just still couldn't focus. I was like, I gotta like fluff these pillows. I gotta put the cushion back in. I gotta fold the blanket and put it back on the side of the armrest like I like it. And then I carried on with my day. Like, I just can't function in clutter. Maybe you have a little bit of OCD. Maybe you may not be that bad, but clean up your room. Just clean up a little bit. And then maybe you can like focus. You're not around so much chaos. And then maybe that thing that you were looking for, you're able to find it because it was like under something. And then routines. Routines can be helpful because they can keep you organized. You're like, okay, no, I have class at this time. I usually go get my coffee before class. And then I'm there about this time. I can sit in my seat and I'm well prepared before the professor comes in. Whatever that looks like for you, sometimes just developing a routine helps you. And then it also relieves the stress of parking. I don't know if anybody commutes to campus, but I know parking can be crazy, especially when you're getting here like right before class on certain days. So having a routine of saying, I'm getting out of the door by a certain time will help you get on campus by a certain time so you can find a parking space. So routines. Okay, self-care. So these are just some things that I advocate for you to do, especially when you have breaks like fall break, Christmas break, spring break, all the breaks, Good Fridays. Do some of these things to take care of yourself. So take time away when you need it. So if it's taking a trip when you don't have any major homework assignments or tests, maybe go to Gulfport. Just go down to the coast, go down to New Orleans, go visit family, go home, take a trip out of state with some friends safely. Drink water. Sometimes we're just dehydrated. Once again, I have plenty of stories. Once again, I have a coworker who is an advocate of water. If you have a headache, she's like, oh, you're dehydrated. You need to drink some water. If you're stressed, she's like, oh, you need to drink some water. Like everything goes back to water, right? And I know it is the thing of the world, right? It's how we work, H2O. Our body is mostly made up of water. So drink water. Pamper yourself, ladies. Like, don't look at my hands. I need to go to the nail salon. Like, go to the nail salon, get your nails done, get your toes done, get a pedicure, go get a massage. Okay, I know they're expensive, so you may not be able to afford them very often because I haven't had one in months, maybe a year now. But pamper yourself. Take a hot bath. I would say shower. I don't think you have showers on campus. Like, not showers, tubs on campus. But take a shower. Take a bath in your tub. But then know your limits. And then also make time to do some things that you enjoy and hang out with some of your friends. And I would also say family. So these are some of the things that I would say, this is a resource. If you are not aware, we do have student counseling services on campus. They're located in Bond Hall. Everybody know what Bond Hall is? Yes. They're across the way from Thad Cochran Center. Like, you got Thad Cochran, then you have the parking garage, like right next to the parking garage. Student counseling services is in Bond Hall South. They're on the east entrance. So they're the entrance where you are closest to Bond Hall, but not to closest to the parking garage, not to Thad Cochran on that side of the building. It's a free resource. They have counselors that are available to assist you. So if you feel that you are wanting someone to talk to that maybe can help you with some of the things that you're going through, I recommend it. I am an advocate for counseling. So I will never tell you not to go, but certainly it is up to you as your autonomy to decide whether that's something that you're interested in. But do know that we have help available on campus should you feel that you need to do so. And it's free. You don't have to pay anything. You can choose to go as many times as you like, or as few times as you like as well. And if I'm not mistaken, they do have virtual options as well. So for those who are on Zoom today, if you're not able to make it to campus, they do have virtual options. And for those who are in the room, you don't want to meet in person, if you feel like virtual is more your thing, you can't do that. Another resource that I want to tell everyone about is University CARES system. So I don't know if you've heard about CARES. Anybody heard about CARES? Okay, so CARES is an anonymous system that allows you to submit a CARES report for yourself or for another person. And so what happens is you log on, you submit the person's name, information, and then you can have a short description of whatever the situation is that you feel. So if you were to submit a CARES case on me, maybe saying that Miss Ashley seems like she's not doing well, she seemed a little reserved, she's been missing class, she's not been to the student organization meetings, and I'm worried about her mental health. You can put that into the system, and then someone on the CARES team, which is a professional on campus, will reach out to that student. So if you feel that you have a friend who can maybe use some help, but you don't want to do it yourself, or you want to have another staff, faculty member do that, you can submit their name in the CARES system. And you can also choose to remain anonymous, and we won't let them know that you did it on their behalf. So I want you to know about that. It is on the website, on the university's website, so you can look up CARES, and you can certainly go to Campus Resource, just Student Counseling Service, and then you can always come and talk to someone in our office as well. Does anyone have any questions about stress, anxiety? How to management? Do you feel a little bit better about how you can handle your stress moving forward? Yes.
I was just starting the business. What would you suggest, like, the time to do to, like, you like say, try to take how long?
It depends on the severity of your results. If it's not too severe, I would say 21 days. And the reason I say that is because it takes 21 days to create a new habit. So if you're wanting to change some of the things that are currently going on in your life, like you're saying, okay, today I want to commit to exercising, to maybe pampering myself more, and to maybe alleviating some of the things that don't need to be on my to-do list. Give yourself about 21 days to get into that habit of making that change, and then reevaluate and retake the assessment again. But if it's super, super severe, I wouldn't probably wait quite that long. I would maybe say a week. But if you're mildly and you have some time to give a little bit, maybe give yourself 21 days to make that change. Does that answer your question? Okay, good. Does anyone else have any questions? By show of hands, who learned something today? Yay! I know y'all probably just told me that, but that makes me feel good. Okay, so what I do have, I have some planners up here. Please feel free to take one. They are from the office, excuse me, the Center for Student Success, which is my office. We're located downstairs at the very back of the building, room 138. Then I also have some stress relievers here. So these are some additional ways that you can relieve your stress. Please take one. And then lastly, I have a paper here on how to reduce stress and sadness. So in any type of stress or sadness, please feel free to take one of these as well. And you all are dismissed. I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much. And I do have the sign-in sheet for anyone who came in late and weren't able to sign in. Thank you so much to everyone who is on Zoom today. I do hope that you were able to learn something from today's presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Center for Student Success. We are located in Cook Library on the very first floor in the back of the building. And then you can also reach us by email, and that is success@usm.edu. success@usm.edu. And then you can also reach us by phone at 601-266-6405. That's 601-266-6405. Again, I hope that you were able to learn something from today's presentation. Yes, absolutely. I'm looking at some of the responses in the track. Yes, you're very welcome. In the chat, the Pain Center is an excellent track to walk. I do sometimes see for students on campus and staff walking the track throughout the day. So that's a wonderful example. Thank you. Yes, you're very welcome. I hope that y'all have a great day. Feel free to reach out to us should you need anything at all. Again, this is the Center for Student Success, and we hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.